would you do if you saw a huge beetle trying to attack you? If I were you, I would get the heck out of there. But this guy didn't. And when he got too close, the beetle did something unbelievable. It literally exploded in his face. How is that even possible? Keep watching to find out why it did this. When you think of insects, you may think of annoying flies, or maybe some beautiful butterflies. You might also think of dangerous things like bees or wasps. These insects can attack you with their stinger if they feel threatened. However, there's another insect that can attack you in a completely different way. In this video, we'll show you a beetle that literally blows itself up. This insect is called a bombardier beetle. These beetles are known for their unique ability to explode. And the reason they do this is pretty scary. It's all to do with how these beetles are hunted by predators. These beetles are usually targeted by birds and frogs. So the beetle has had to evolve a defense mechanism in order to survive. Scientists believe that these beetles started to make themselves look more colorful. Their bright colors act as a warning to predators that they aren't easy prey. Of course, this doesn't stop every predator from attacking them. Sometimes a bird or frog will try its luck anyway. And this is where things get interesting. If a bombardier beetle feels like it's being attacked, it will release a liquid from its abdomen. This liquid is what causes the beetle to explode. But why does it do this? What is this liquid made of? The answer surprised scientists. For many years, scientists believed that this liquid was just water. Water isn't actually that helpful when you're under attack, but at least it's harmless. Well, recent studies have revealed that this liquid actually contains hydrogen cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide is extremely toxic and can kill predators very quickly. But why would a beetle contain something so dangerous? Bombardier beetles don't intentionally create hydrogen cyanide. Instead, they eat plants that contain this chemical. These plants usually have small amounts of hydrogen cyanide. However, the beetle's body contains special enzymes that allow them to store large amounts of the gas inside their bodies. They then use this gas as a defense mechanism. So if a predator tries to eat the beetle, it will be poisoned and won't want to eat anything for a while. But the beetle doesn't just store hydrogen cyanide in their bodies. When they're being attacked, they'll squirt the liquid out of their abdomens. This means that the beetle literally explodes into the face of its attacker. This explosion is the beetle's way of protecting itself. By exploding, they can spray the poison over a wide area. This gives other animals the message that they're not worth eating. Animals that have been sprayed with the liquid become sick and stop eating the beetles. Scientists have yet to figure out exactly how these beetles squirt the liquid out of their bodies. They've never seen a beetle explode before because it happens too fast. It's believed that the beetles contract muscles in their abdomens. These muscles force the liquid out of their bodies at high speed. However, scientists do know that these beetles can't control when they explode. Some beetles accidentally release the liquid when they're not being attacked. This could be due to the beetle being startled or simply moving in a strange way. This means that if you see one of these beetles, you should keep your distance. Even if you don't mean to startle the beetle, it could explode and cover you in toxic liquid. But the weirdest part about these explosions is that it takes several hours for the beetles to recover. After a beetle explodes, it needs time to replenish its supply of hydrogen cyanide. This means that after a beetle explodes, it's less likely to attack. This is because they can't defend themselves until the explosion has been reset. Bombardier beetles usually live for around 10 days. That might not sound like a long time, but it means that the beetle has many chances to explode. In fact, it's believed that some beetles have exploded several times in their lifetime. There are thousands of species of bombardier beetle, and all of them have the ability to explode. But each species has a different strategy when it comes to their defense. Some beetles only release a small amount of liquid, Others try to rub their abdomens against their attackers. Each of these methods has the same result though, and it's definitely a good defense mechanism. There's no animal that has evolved to eat a bombyx beetle. This is because no animal wants to take the risk. Even if the explosion doesn't kill them, the poison may make them very sick. But the explosion isn't the only impressive thing about this beetle. Bombyx beetles are absolutely massive. You might be used to seeing beetles that are around an inch long. Well, bombyx beetles are much larger. On average, they measure between 3 and 4 inches long. Some species are even larger and can grow to be more than 6 inches long. That's almost as big as a human hand. It's easy to see why people freak out when they spot one of these beetles. Not only is it huge, but it could also blow up in your face. But the truth is that these beetles are completely harmless to humans. They don't bite or sting us. And they're also not poisonous. The only danger these beetles pose is when they explode. But even then, they're only dangerous to animals that have eaten them. Humans haven't evolved yet to be affected by the explosion. So if one of these beetles exploded in your face, you'd probably just cough a bit. It's very unlikely that a beetle would explode in your face in the first place. These beetles are normally quite shy and prefer to hide from humans. You might see them in your garden, but if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. Some people say that the reason why beetles explode is because they're stupid. That may be true, but it's only because they haven't evolved yet to realize that humans aren't predators. If you think about it, humans are quite scary. We walk around on 2 legs, and some of us even wear shoes. All of this would be very scary to a beetle. Beetles have only been around for 300 million years. Meanwhile, humans have been around for only 200,000 years. For most of history, humans and beetles have lived separately and have barely had any contact. Because of this, beetles still see humans as a threat. And who could blame them? Our hands are capable of smashing their bodies with ease, and some people enjoy eating fried beetles. In some countries, people eat beetles as a delicacy. That's why beetles are scared of humans. We're basically the predator, and they're the prey. So if you see one of these beetles, keep your distance. It may look cool, but you don't want to get too close. It may explode and cover you in poison. But remember, even though it could be dangerous, the beetle is only acting out of self-defense. It has evolved to explode in order to protect itself. Maybe one day soon, beetles will realize that humans are not predators, and they'll stop exploding when they see us. Until then though, we'll have to keep an eye out for explosive beetles. Now watch what happens when a blue whale gets stuck on a beach. Or check out what would happen if a tornado sucked you into a wormhole.